So this is going to be another short video on how to restore your insulin sensitivity using fasting as a technique. So fasting has, of course, become very popular lately, but I think that it is very useful in patients who have insulin resistance. And as I previously alluded to, insulin resistance is caused by a diet that's rich in processed carbohydrates, fructose, sugar. But another huge problem is how frequently we eat. When we eat very frequently, every few hours, our insulin levels are constantly high. And it is this constantly high insulin level that the body detects, and then your body becomes insensitive to that constantly elevated insulin level. So then, when you do it, you need more and more insulin. So every time you eat another meal and your insulin levels stay high, because you're eating frequently and you're eating processed foods that contain a lot of carbohydrates, then your body is going to become more and more insensitive to the insulin and will produce more insulin the next time you eat. So, gradually, for the same amount of carbohydrates or calories you take in, you produce much more insulin. This can be detected on a simple test that we do in our office. It's known as the Kraft test, where you drink some sugar water and we measure the blood insulin level every hour for the next 5 hours. And there are specific patterns for patients who have very high insulin levels. So, how do you then desensitize the body to insulin? And we already talked about the foods that cause insulin resistance. Now I'm going to tell you about dieting through fasting. When you fast, you're not taking in any calories or carbohydrates. So automatically your pancreas stops producing so much insulin. There's always a basal amount. So now you're going to have a very low insulin level. Then the body detects this low insulin level. And then the next time you do it, it is going to be more sensitive to the insulin and you're going to produce less insulin. So the more often you do the fasting and the longer the periods of time between the meals, you can actually start producing less and less insulin because your sensitivity is being restored. So there's many kinds of fasting. The one that I advocate to all my patients is this. First and foremost, you must cut out carbohydrates, especially the processed carbohydrates, and do that for the first couple of weeks because there's a true phenomenon of carbohydrate withdrawal that most of my patients go through. That phase usually lasts about 10 days. And then after that, I tell them that, look, you need to randomly skip a few meals. So maybe you wake up in the morning and you should just skip breakfast. Tomorrow, you skip lunch. Day after tomorrow, you may skip dinner. But you randomly skip a few meals. And your body gets to know what it feels like not to have a meal. And you realize that you may miss the social time, for example, of the meal. But basically, you can get through this episode quite easily, consuming more liquids, mostly water. Once you get the handle on just missing a few meals here and there, then I tell patients, okay, now choose a day or 2 days in this week when you're only going to have one meal. So you choose that meal, and the rest of the day you drink lots of water. When you're hungry, you will notice that hunger will come, but doesn't continue and progress throughout the day. Hunger doesn't get worse. Hunger comes in 1 hour, half an hour spells, and then goes away. And it is produced by this hormone called ghrelin. So ghrelin levels don't continue to come up. They are pulsatile. So you'll feel hungry for a while, and then it goes away. Once you get used to skipping meals, and then perhaps once a week you'll have only one meal, then you can do that for 2 weeks and then go to eating one meal a day, 3 days a week. And then take it to 4 days a week, 5 days a week. But you gradually do this. Your body gets used to the feeling of not having eaten because you go through the carbohydrate withdrawal, you go through a social withdrawal, you miss the time of the day, but you'll get used to it and you'll actually feel more productive, more energetic. And the best part of it is because your insulin levels are low, when you do eat thereafter, you will produce less insulin and your body will become insulin sensitive. So, what benefit would you get from that? Well, first and foremost, you will stop being in the storage mode because your insulin levels are low. So, when you're not storing your calories that you consume, you'll notice that you'll start losing weight very quickly. It is the insulin that partitions the calories in your body and points those calories towards storage versus consumption. So when your insulin levels are low, you're going to consume those calories. Calorie is not a calorie. A calorie will do what it will do based on your insulin level. If your insulin level is high, most of those calories will go into storage. If your insulin levels are low, most of those calories will be metabolized in the body. So a calorie is not a calorie. You must aim for low insulin levels. And the best way to do it is to follow the diet plan that I've given. And I've also strongly endorsed fasting. Some people fast for 18 hours a day and eat in a 6-hour window period. That's also acceptable. Some people eat only once a day. That's also acceptable. Some people fast for 36 hours once a week, and the rest of the times they do a 18-6 fast. That's also okay. So there's many permutations, but at least we must get out of this eating 5 times a day with 2 snacks. That absolutely has to go. It's gotten us into all this trouble. Eating frequently and eating processed foods has gotten us into one of the largest health threats that we are facing currently. So I wish you good luck with this plan and stay tuned because I'll have some more videos for you.